Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm super excited for today's video because I am going to be talking about the cast of Big Brother Canada Season 11. The cast was announced last Wednesday, so a week ago today, and the show starts tonight in literally an hour. So I am super excited. I cannot wait. I've been waiting for the season to start since literally the end of last season. I'm obsessed with the show, so I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm going to tell you guys the cast, like their names and like where they're from, their age, that kind of thing, all of that, and like their jobs and stuff like that. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to be telling you guys my preseason rankings. So based on, because every year when the cast is announced, I always watch their bios, just talking about them, like little short, like 2-minute videos about all of them. So every year what I do, I watch those videos on the Big Brother Canada website, and I write down my favorites. Like there's like I think 16, 17, somewhere around there, house guests this year. So I watched all of their bios and I wrote down, listed them, top favorite right now to least favorite, just simply based on their bios, like their videos on the Big Brother Canada website. So I don't know if my rankings would change as the season goes on, because the season hasn't even started yet. But every year I do preseason rankings. Then towards the middle of the season I do mid-season rankings, so my current rankings, and at the end of it I will do, at the end of each season, I normally do my all-over rankings for the entire season instead of just preseason and mid-season rankings. So yeah, I did that for Big Brother Season 24. Season 24, the US version. So I'm probably just going to end up doing that for Big Brother Canada Season 11 as well. So, like I said, I'm going to tell you guys about each house guest, their name, their age, their pronouns, hometown, and occupation. Then at the end of the video, I will be telling you guys my preseason rankings for all of them. So, first is Claudia Campbell. She is 25 years old, and her pronouns are she, her. Hometown is Kensington, PEI, and she is a marketing coordinator. Next is Amal Bashir. She's 28 years old, from Toronto, Ontario. Her occupation is a superfan, so Big Brother Canada superfan, and her pronouns are she, her. Next is Anika Misha. I'm sorry, I might pronounce some of their names wrong, like first names or last names, so if I do, I'm sorry about that. Her pronouns are she, her. She is 28 years old, from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and she is an investment advisor. Next is, I'm excited for this guy, Daniel Clark. He is 33 years old. Pronouns are he, him. He is from Toronto, Ontario, and he is a graphic designer. I love his energy. I saw his bio, and I was like, this is my guy. Like, I love him already. Next is Dan Sabo. He's 20 years old. Pronouns are he, him, and he is from Niagara Falls, Ontario, and he is a DJ. Next is Hope Agbalosu. Again, I might be pronouncing some of their names wrong, so if I do, I'm really sorry. Pronouns are he, him. He is 23 years old, from Milton, Ontario, and he is a skills coach. Next, again, I'm excited for this guy. He is from Newfoundland, just like I am, and every time there's a Newfie on the show, I get so excited. I always tend to root for the Newfies. So, yeah, like Will Kenny, when he was on the show, I rooted for him. Adam Pike and Samantha Pico from Season 7, I rooted for them as well. Yeah, every time there's a Newfie on the show, I tend to root for them, like every single time. Anyway, Jonathan Leonard, he is 33 years old. Pronouns are he, him, and he is from Paradise, Newfoundland, and he is a fisherman. Next is John Michael Souza. He is 20 years old. Pronouns are he, him. He is from Bradford, Ontario, I can't even speak. He is from Bradford, Ontario, and he is a project manager. Next, now I'm not even going to try to pronounce her first and last name because I can't. I had to look at the Big Brother Canada website to even know how to spell it. So if I can't spell it, I can't even pronounce it. So I'm just going to call her by her nickname, Kuzi. She's 29 years old. Her pronouns are she, her, and she is from Victoria, BC, and she's a 911 operator. Next is Roberto Lopez. He is 30. His pronouns are he, him. He is from Toronto, Ontario, and he is a gym manager. Next is Renee Meyer. Her pronouns are she, her. She's 24 years old from Vaughan, Ontario, and she is a law student. Next is Santina Carlson. Pronouns are she, her. She's 29 years old from Edmonton, Alberta, and she is a esthetician. Sometimes I can't really pronounce that word. It's just something about me. Next is Shania Carter. I love her energy too. Like I'm rooting for her. She's like my top favorite in my preseason rankings. I don't know how she'll be like during the season. My feelings, I wouldn't say feelings, but how I feel about her, like I said, preseason rankings, she's at the top. Like she's my first favorite, my top favorite. But maybe towards the end of the season or during the season, she will be like my least favorite. That's happened before. I would be watching the show, the cast would be announced, and I'm like, okay, I love this guy, I want him to win. During the season, like, no, I hate him, literally get him off my screen. That's happened quite a few times. But anyway, her name is Shania Carter. Her pronouns are she, her. Age is 27. She is from Victoria, British Columbia, and she is a bartender. This is such a good-looking cast, too, I have to say. Like, I love this cast. They are all so good-looking. Anyway, next is Terrell Ty McDonald. Pronouns are he, him. He is 28 years old from Toronto, Ontario, and he is a personal trainer. Next is Vanessa McTavish. Pronouns are she, her. Surprisingly, because she does not look this old, even though it's not really that old, but still, like, she looks way younger. She's 42, so she's, I think, the oldest in the house. Not that that matters, because the oldest people in the house have done good quite a few times. Like, Kevin from BB19, he was the oldest in the house. He did pretty well. He went pretty far. Karen from BBCAN11, the oldest in the house, she got final 2. She got second place. So just because you're the oldest in the house doesn't mean anything. You could still do very well. She is from Calgary, Alberta, and she is a yoga instructor. But yeah, like I said, she looks nowhere near 42. She looks super young, like 28. Like, when the cast was announced, I was like, this girl looks 20 years old. Then I looked at how old she was, and I'm like, no, there's no way. Anyway, moving on. Next is, I think this is the last person, Zach Nielsen. He is 34 years old. Pronouns are he, him. And he is from Ottawa, Ontario, and he is a startup senior vice president. So, that's the entire cast. There are 16 people. I'm looking at my blog now, and I forgot a couple people, because I got this from a website. I don't know exactly which website it was, but when I was looking at the website, they left out a couple people, so I just copied whatever was on the website. So I left out a few people, but my preseason rankings, I did not leave anybody out. Because I looked through all of them. I did not leave anybody out in the rankings, but like I said, I left a few out talking about their age and stuff like that. But yeah, I covered all of them because I just went back on the Big Brother Canada website, and yeah, I covered all of them. But now, here are my preseason rankings. So first, Shania. Love her energy. She just seems so sweet. She's gorgeous too. So right now, she's my top favorite. Hopefully, she doesn't let me down, because that has happened. Like I said, I would adore, like, season 21, I think it was, a Big Brother US. Jack was my all-time favorite. Maybe my all-time preseason favorite. Jack. Loved him. Adored him. I wanted him to win preseason. The season started, I was like, yeah, do not like this guy, get him off my screen. I mean, maybe when I start, because at some point I do want to rewatch that season back again. So maybe when I start rewatching season 21 of BBUS again, I might end up liking him more. But yeah, season 21, there are a few people that I loved preseason, but they just did not live up to my expectations during the season. Like, I didn't end up liking them as much as I did. So hopefully Shania does not let me down, because I love her. I love her vibe. Adore her so far. Next is Jonathan. Always rooting for the newfie. Every time there's a fellow Newfoundlander on the show, I get super excited. So, next is Daniel. Like I said, my guy. I love his vibe, love his energy. His attitude is everything. Then it's Kuzi, Hope. Usually, because Hope is... I watched the bio, and he started talking about, like, you feel me, that kind of thing. And that just kind of reminds me of Swaggy C and Jamar from BBCAN 8. I didn't like Swaggy C and Jamar all that much. I felt they were really overly confident. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being confident at all by any means, but there is such thing as being overly confident and thinking that you're too good for anything. So, but then as I started watching more of Hope's bio, I was like, okay, I actually like this guy. So he's at number 5. Number 6 is Claudia. Number 7 is Zach, Ty, Anika, Vanessa, Amal, Dan, Rob is in Roberto, John, Renee, and Santina. Nothing against any of the house guests, but I mean, I had to rank them and put them someplace. Like, there's no way like all the house guests could be at number 1. So I love every house guest so far, but I know somewhere during the season I'll end up figuring out my favorites and least favorites. So yeah, that is it for today's video. I'm super excited. The cast looks incredible. I also saw the house. The house tour was posted a couple days ago, yesterday or something. I don't know exactly when it was posted, the house tour, but I looked at the pictures of the house, and the house is probably the most beautiful Big Brother house I've seen ever. In any version of Big Brother. US, Australia. I've never seen a single Australian season, but this has to be, easily, for me, the most beautiful Big Brother house in any Big Brother ever. I'm obsessed with it. I mean, it just looks so luxurious. I'm in love. So, that makes me even more excited for the season. There's no live feeds, which sucks, but I'm excited to see what kind of things they do now. I mean, they are, like I said, there's no live feeds, but they changed, because I'm on the website now, and they changed the live feeds section on the screen to BBCAN extras, so I'm not sure how they're going to do without the live feeds, but I'm excited to see. And just because there's no live feeds, because I've heard and seen people on Twitter say like, oh, there's no live feeds, I'm not going to watch the show, the show has gone to the dogs or whatever. Like, give it a chance. I get what they mean, because like people feel that, and I think I've noticed it too, people of color are always seem to be villainized during Big Brother, and I do not like that. Like, I called out a girl on Twitter recently about not watching the show simply because there's no live feeds. And just because, like, all I said on Twitter, I'm not even going to get into that, because then I'll probably be ranting for the next 20 minutes. But I simply posted a tweet on Twitter saying, like, I'm still going to watch the show no matter what. Live feeds or not, I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to enjoy the heck out of the show. And then this one girl tweets me, replies to that tweet, and says, clearly you don't care how the people of color are villainized in the house. And I'm like, where in the world in that tweet did I say that? I didn't. All I said was, live feeds or not, I'm still going to enjoy the heck out of the show. I love the show, and I'm never going to stop watching it, no matter what. So, where in that tweet did I ever say that I don't care how the people of color are villainized in the house, or portrayed in the house? Because obviously I do. So, yeah, if you guys want to see all that on Twitter, you can go on my Twitter and scroll down to whenever I posted it. But that was like sometime last week, I think. But yeah, that really got my blood boiling a little bit, because I'm not that type of person. I never was. I respect people of all sizes, colors, all of that. I don't judge people. So, if you think that I'm judging you simply for posting a tweet on Twitter that simply just says that I'm going to enjoy watching a show, I'm sorry you took it that way, but I never was like that, and I never will be. So, and like I told that one girl on Twitter, I replied back to her. I was like, don't judge me before you meet me. You don't know who I am, so you don't know what I'm like, what my intentions are, who my character is. So before you meet me, don't make me out to be this really bad, evil person. Like, get to know me first and actually meet me before you judge my character and assume the worst. Because to me, that's like one of the worst things you could assume about someone, is that they're racist or that kind of thing. Just by the look of them, just by their posts on Twitter. Like, BB24. All that stuff about Kyle going on. Like, I really despised Kyle at the time. I mean, now I know that he wasn't trying to hurt anybody or judge anybody. It just came out that way. So I do feel like he has a bit of remorse as to what he said. But at the time, I did post some tweets expressing my, not hate, I would say, but dislike for him and how he was behaving in the house. So, like, if you want to assume that I'm a racist person and I don't care how people of color are portrayed on Big Brother, scroll back to those tweets last summer. There's still a couple there. So, yeah, like I said, meet me and get to know me before you start assuming that I'm a bad person or whatever, just based on what I post and based on what I look like, all of that. So, yeah, like I said, just get to know me before you make assumptions about me as a person, because that's just the worst thing you do is assume people are bad people for no reason at all. But anyway, that is it for today's video. I'm super excited, like I said, for the season. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with the new change with no live feeds. Again, it sucks that there won't be any live feeds, but we'll see how this goes. That is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. And I will see you guys next week for another video. Bye, guys.